Welcome to Success, Love, and Fulfillment Secrets, the place where you discover powerful distinctions to spiral your life upwards.
Soraya has an incredible amount of wisdom and discernment.
The results that I've been having, they've been amazing. I've been blown away, having a better state of mind.
I've been able to turn my marriage around. I've been able to find direction in my professional life.
My name is Soraya Altana. I am a life designer, and I am here to inspire you to design a life you love.
Now I know where I'm going, what do I want. My results are being outstanding. Happy for the experience and happy for the results, and I'm happy.
Working with Soraya will move your life forward in ways that you don't even realize.
I have a sense of hope, and I can become the leader that I want to become with my family and with my business.
Ready? Let's discover your secret of the day. Hi, this is Soraya Altana, and I am so happy that you and I get to share this space where we go over secrets that propel your life to spiral upwards. Today we have a topic that is so critical that we master. And it reminds me of a time back in the day when I started waking up to the fact that I had some entrepreneurial ideas and that I was an innovator and creator, and I wanted to create, and there was something in the inside wanting to be born, and it was waiting to be born. So I went ahead and I designed a line of greeting cards, and I thought I was witty. I put all the things together and I created a nice line of greeting cards, and I started distributing them. I woke up for the first time to the realization that I could create something that people wanted and generate a lifestyle from it. So I went ahead and created this line of greeting cards, and I started distributing them on a small mom and pop shops, and I started to have a little bit of success, and yet I didn't know how to do the business of running a business. And I was not aware of 1,000 things. I did not have the luxury of education to make a business succeed at the time. And I did not let that stop me. I was daring, and I was not waiting for the right steps, but I decided that I was going to take action regardless of what it looked like. So I had no knowledge, no wisdom, really no experience, but I knew that I had a dream. And I ended up sitting across the purchase director from Walmart, having a conversation about my greeting cards. And he said, Soraya, I love your cards. Are you prepared to distribute a large amount of them? And I said, well, what is a large amount? I was already distributing about 1,000 a month. And he said, no, we'll be looking at 10,000 per month. And I want to know if you have the power to do that right now, and then it will continue to grow. So my dream, I figured that, yes, I could do this, and I could see in my mind's eye how I could operate this and how many people could help me. And then he told me something that forever changed my life. And he said, and the only thing that I want you to do is to go and stamp a barcode on your cards. And at that moment, my dream died. Why? Because he might have said that, but what I heard is, go to the Himalayas, climb up the Mount Everest, and then come back. And when you come back, then we'll talk. Because in my mind, I did not know how to put a barcode on my cards. And this is super silly, but that's what happens when you don't think that you can. And what I did, in my mind, I shut down and I said, I can't. And it was really an equivalent of, I don't know how, but isn't that what cannot is really? Is you don't know how to do that, or you don't think you have the power to do that in one level or another. You say, I just can't. And I killed my dream because I thought that I could not do it. I said, I can't. And I turned around and I never pursued that anymore. At the time, there were some other things happening. It wasn't the only thing. And it coincided. And I decided that I was not going to do that anymore. And I literally killed my dream. So you could have been reading about my stories on books or greeting cards, but the story was different because I came to a wall and I did not know how to. And all I said is, I can't. And thus I limited myself to the possibility of what I could have created an empire, because I had all these dreams of doing stuff and I had open doors, and I was going to go into another major nationwide store that would buy my cards. But that's where I stopped. And that is a topic that I want to talk to you about today, is when you say I can't versus I won't or I don't want to. And what happens when you and I say I can't is that we close ourselves to all possibilities. We are shut down, and the brain, as powerful as it is, it closes off and it doesn't allow for anything to really continue growing, because it is time to retreat, nothing to do here. Let's turn around and send the troops elsewhere. And that is a danger of saying I can't. Then what happens is you become a victim. You have no power. When you say I can't, is you render yourself powerless. And there's no way that you can conquer anything. And when you say I can't, and when you said it's impossible, it's just a bad suggestion. You could say something like, I can't yet, meaning I don't have the resources or the knowledge or the know-how or the experience. So that is different than you shutting down to limit yourself and your dreams, because you're saying, I cannot, there is no way. But when you turn around and you say, I won't, then there is a will that could be happening. Or you say, I don't want to. It's also very powerful, because by now it's involving a choice. You realize that yes, you can. You simply choose not to. Or the choice that you're making is because you feel yourself limited. But that's a very different place to come from. That's what I call mission control. That's a place where you're operating. So you might say, no, Soraya, you don't understand. You're asking me to run without legs. Well, that's a different story. But I know people, and I'm going to be bringing you an amazing man soon that I'm interviewing. His name is Ryan Hudson Peralta, and he is a phenomenal human being that has defied all odds, and we're going to have him here in our next episodes. And I'm telling you, when you say I can't, it's just a very bad suggestion. You can do anything that you set your mind to. And I was listening about this movie star that was rolling a movie, and she was supposed to come to the set, and except that she was MIA. So security is looking for them, and security had to break into her trailer. And what did they find? They found this woman on the floor, sitting there, kind of like just going through the motions, no life, just there. She had just eaten half a roll of toilet paper. And you would be raising an eyebrow right now and saying, what? Why was she eating toilet paper? And you may imagine what she was figuring. And it is that toilet paper has no calories or carbs, for that matter. And she convinced herself that she could eat toilet paper. I'm telling you, if you can convince yourself that you can eat toilet paper, you can convince your mind that you can do anything. And the contrary is true, that you cannot do anything. Henry Ford said, if you think you can or you cannot, You're right. And many times I've spoken with people and the first response is, I can't. Because we're so trapped to an automated I cannot, because we have internal beliefs and stories, which is a program that gives an automatic response. Boom, I can't. And then as powerful creator as you are, your brain shuts down and says, you're right, we can't. And then we see no possibilities. So it's a very different place to come from when you say, I don't want to, or I won't. I don't want to accomplish this is very, very different. And if you start walking with me, you're going to see and go on a journey into the domain of unlimited possibilities. And when you are working and operating in that domain and you move your mission control over there and you park it over there, then you're going to see different things happening. It is in uncomfortable places, yes, but that's where growth happens, isn't it? And when you are operating from there, then anything is possible. Impossible is just a bad suggestion. And that is a place where you can create anything that you want. That is a place where the majority, if not all, inventions have happened in people that did not give up when they thought that they couldn't. We've seen stories. We've seen moving stories of athletes in different competitions crossing the finish line, dying and pouring out all their strength and pouring out all their guts, but they believe in something. I can. And there's many stories that are not written because there was an I cannot that intervened. There was an I cannot that came into the picture, and you've probably seen it in your life. You felt short at one point. You didn't sign those papers. You didn't connect with that person. You missed out on that opportunity. You did not create an empire of greeting cards and gifts and things because you thought that you couldn't. I know firsthand how that feels. And when we say that we cannot, not only do we become victims, but we lose our strength. Because obeying your fears keeps you from acting effectively. And you create a story of missed actions and missed dreams. And I love that concept that I heard somebody said recently, that this man interviewed this other man and said, if you could meet anybody in the world, past, present, future, who would you talk to? And this one man said, I would want to meet the man I could have been. And I think that's powerful because you and I could be so many things. You and I could have that amazingly fulfilling relationship. We could have that business. We can start that enterprise. We could start that contribution. We could start that NGO. We can make a difference. We could change the world. But it doesn't happen when we say, I can't. And my invitation to you is to break the legs of an evil costume, the costume of limiting yourself. And start a different habit and say, yes, I can, or yes, I will, or I can't yet. I can't with the resources that I have at this moment. No, but I can get them. I cannot with the knowledge that I have at this point. However, I open myself up to the possibility that it is possible. I just don't think that I can do it. Well, that's a different story. And when you embark to a different place, and when you park your mission control into the place of unlimited possibilities, then you can create anything that you want. You can design a life you love. You can improve your relationship. You can change your relationship. And when I work with couples, I tell them, the relationship that you want does not exist right now. And we're not going to go about fixing your relationship because that is pointless and that is a waste of time. We're going to create a new one where we're going to bring so many different things to the table, and you're going to show up differently, and your spouse is going to show up differently. Then we can create something. But the way we're having it right now, it's not possible. And anything that you want is possible as long as you believe in it. And if you can believe that you can eat a roll of toilet paper, you can. And if you can believe that you can go and get that life that you're dreaming and stop the madness and stop the depression and the sadness and the guilt and the stress and the self-limiting beliefs and the unhealthy self-confidence that you carry around, you can. And if you want a little push or a big push, then I'm going to invite you to get into a conversation with me. There's a link somewhere around here that you can find. And that conversation can change the course of your life. I know it did it for me at one point. And all I'm doing right now is replicating, creating more awesome of that. Because it is possible. We just don't know how. We keep saying we cannot. And we see impossibilities and we see the wall and we see the Red Sea in front of us. But I believe in a God that is big enough, that has given us the power and the ability to create anything that we want. So my invitation to you today is to replace, whenever you're facing a challenge and you say, I can't, my invitation for you is to say either I won't or I don't want to. Because that will open up the possibilities for you to start creating a different story. I'm Soraya Altana, and I want to thank you for sharing this space with me. And I look forward to connecting with you in our next episode. In the meantime, my invitation is for you to design a life that you love. Ciao, ciao. Thank you for being here today. Find out what opportunities are available for you to start designing a life you love now by checking out the links. I look forward to connecting with you and seeing you live your best life yet. Hugs.